Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is 9 a.m. on Friday, and I am Deb Burton. So you know what this is. This is Rhode Island Elder Info's Friday Friends show, where we talk to individuals and organizations who are doing some really cool stuff that you or someone you know needs to know about. So I encourage you to hit the like button and the share button and all of those fun social media cues to let folks know, hey, this is really cool stuff and you got to know about it. So please help us get the word out, because what we're talking about today is something that impacts a lot of people's lives here in New England, actually worldwide. But we're going to be talking about the New England aspect of it today. So hit the like button, hit the share button, and help us get the word out, because it is with a little help from our friends that we are able to bring this to you and get this out to other people. So we are a nonprofit. So I want to say thank you to our sponsors, to Aetna and to Oak Street Health and United Health, and let's see, Neighborhood Health and Tamarisk Assisted Living, 321 Media, who is running the show behind the scenes today, and England Studio. We are extremely grateful for their support, which enables us to bring this show to you every week. So big thank you to our sponsors. Without further ado, I would like to bring up my friend Annie Murphy from the Rhode Island Alzheimer's Association. Welcome, Annie.
Good morning, Deb. Thank you so much for having me on this morning. I really appreciate it. How are you?
Awesome on this cold, rainy day.
I know.
So what is new at the Rhode Island Alzheimer's Association?
So, Deb, we are just hustling and bustling at the local chapter here in Providence. We are gearing up for a very important collaboration of all of the Alzheimer's Association New England chapters. It's our New England Family Conference that's coming up in just 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. And we're really excited this year about this conference, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk about it. But this year's conference is going to be an opportunity for caregivers and who are caring for someone living with, a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease or dementia, or that person living with cognitive changes, to participate in a 2-day virtual conference that's going to take place on February 2nd and February 3rd from 9:30 to 2 o'clock on both days. The first day is specifically for people living with cognitive decline, and we're going to be educating them about how to care for themselves, and what are maybe some daily strategies that they can use to support themselves, just to deal with some of the cognitive changes that they're experiencing. We're going to be teaching about relaxation and mindfulness. And on the second day, these are opportunities for our family caregivers. So we're going to be educating them on, how to support that person in the best of their abilities. And the beautiful thing about this conference this year is we're wanting to make our conference available for all communities. So the conference will be live streamed, and we will be translating the conference in Spanish for the entire conference. So we're really excited about that.
That is awesome. And that's on February 3rd, Friday, February 3rd, and Saturday, February 4th, right?
Thank you. I apologize. My dates were wrong. So yes, thank you for clarification. I really appreciate it.
That's why I was like, oh, did I write something down wrong here?
No.
Yeah. And you know what? It's 9:30 to 2 on Friday the 3rd, which conflicts with our show, but I could actually work really hard to finish on time for 9:30 that day so folks could jump right over into the conference,
That's great.
or we're recorded. So if people, needed to get their tea before they start the conference, that would
Mhm.
be awesome too. So what kinds of information can people expect to learn? Are we seeing like an increase in Alzheimer's and other related dementias since COVID? Um, are we seeing like more social isolation and loneliness? We all know, but how is that really impacting the caregivers, and what can they learn from this participating in this?
What we're hearing over and over again is that our family caregivers are really trying to have tools and tools so that they can create a more healthy environment for their loved one living with the diagnosis. How can they support that person to have the best cognitive health, being living well with the diagnosis. And then also, many of our families are challenged by the everyday care for that individual. So the second day of the conference, we're really going to be working on and educating how to really create a personalized approach for that individual when we're caring for them. So we will be working on how to support that person just around daily routines that they may have, bathing and dressing, and just supporting that person.
So here's a question that maybe folks don't always understand. Why is it so important to focus on what that individual with dementia of various types, what they want? Why does it need to be so focused on just that one individual, that one person? How does that help?
Well, I'm gonna just think about each one of us. We each, as an individual, as a person, we all have our personal preferences. We have choice, and that's what we need to um, promote for all individuals so that they can live a productive, happy experience. And we're trying to promote dignity and allowing people to have those choices of, this is how I want to live my best life. Because many times as the disease progresses for someone living the diagnosis, the disease itself makes it difficult for them to be able to express what their needs are and what they want. And so we as caregivers, we as family members need to know those things so that we can, support that person, because that individual may not be able to express what their true needs are. And many times it comes out for the person living with the disease, it may come out in ways that aren't so, they may express, if they're not getting their needs not getting their needs met, they may be expressing it outwardly that they're upset.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that upset could be, that maybe some pacing and agitation and things like that.
Yep.
So I think a lot of times we think of an individual who has dementia of various forms as being someone who maybe has challenges communicating. But what about those folks who maybe are just newly diagnosed? They're maybe aware that they are forgetting some things, and the doctor has confirmed maybe, their fear about that. Can the conference help give them tips to remain independent themselves?
Yes. Yes. So on the first day of the conference, that is what the focus is. We're going to be hearing from people who are living with Alzheimer's and other dementias during the conference. And they're going to be sharing their perspective of what has been helpful, um, you know, for them to learn and for them to know. And also for them to, because what this panel is going to do is give insight and to share their perspective of what their needs are and what they want, what they need and what they want from support from family and professionals.
And is it possible for individuals who have dementia to be able to continue living independently in the community when they have, this kind of knowledge and skill set early on?
Early in the disease, I would say yes. as long as they have the services and the things in place that's going to help support them. That may be, just people around them who can support them, having, many people living with, dementia diagnosis use technology as a way of supporting them. But it has to be very personalized in the type of, supports that they need, because each individual is different. And I think that's really important. You just can't assume that, giving someone, for an example, a smartphone is going to, be useful to them. They may not have, any history with it. So,
Right.
we really need to individualize the supports that's going to be put in place to support them. So,
Yeah. And I have to say, even folks who have experience with smartphones,
right.
let me tell you, they do those upgrades. I'm lost
Mhm.
for a few days.
But I think what's so important though is that we need to continue to, to assess, what is going on and what are the current needs. Those things can change, pretty quickly if they're not, kind of checking in with themselves, and then they don't have community supports to kind of check in with them to just make sure that they are still doing well, living independently. And there are, many opportunities that, starting with their physician, or if they're, working with, a therapist, or, they're in, work, they're volunteering or going to a senior center. There's always opportunities to find out what type of resources are available for them. And then, but as the disease progresses, there's going to be need for, more support and services to, continue to allow that person to live well.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I'm hearing a lot more about support circles. A lot of times we think of an individual who may have dementia as requiring health care, but it's so much more than just providing health care, right?
Mhm, absolutely. I think of support circles as, kind of all sorts of facets in our lives. I think about our faith supports, and our,
Mm.
I think of that. I think about just those individuals who, we get together with, that can be, our support system, our friends, our extended, maybe our high school friends that we still, get together with. I think about, maybe someone's using, the transportation system. They've become really friendly with their RIPTA bus driver, can be a support. And we just don't think we need to think outside the box many times when
Amen.
it comes to, who's supporting us. I think, like, for myself, I have a dog walker, right? And so, that person could be, just that person to be checking in on me just to make sure that I'm okay.
Yep.
And the fact that, if, I didn't call you, and if I didn't call my dog walker to, come and pick up, come and take my dog for a walk, that could be a person that could be checking in on me just to make sure I'm okay.
And so the other thing too is, if when the disease progresses, those support circles become more important, but it's also those individuals who, if you did need, say, long-term care, those individuals can continue to support you by coming in and visiting and taking you out and things like that, and fun
Absolutely.
things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's true. And I think, we at the Alzheimer's Association are really trying to change the face of Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. And I think with the conference, and this emphasis on, with the first step, emphasizing on, um, educating those living with the diagnosis, and then them speaking out, as on our panel, about how they're living well and what is going to be helpful to them. We're trying to make, our communities understand that people, um, are living well and independently, although they have this diagnosis. And that's really, really an important piece that, we just need to change, like I said, the face of this disease. Many people in our community here in Rhode Island are living well with this diagnosis, working and, working and, just being independent, driving. So we need to, change that. It's not just the face of that person that you see who's at the, in a long-term care facility. So
I think that's really important to stress, is that there are folks who have the diagnosis
Mhm.
who we are likely engaging with on a regular basis, and
Absolutely.
they're out thriving, participating in
Mhm.
things. And I think, part of that is we have some stereotypes on, what does dementia look like?
Right. Right.
But if you are if you are someone, say, in the community or you're at home, um, at what point is forgetfulness something to be concerned about? Like, at what point is it like, should have this checked? Because, like, I know teenagers who forget stuff all the time. I know new parents who forget stuff all the time. But then as we get older, we forget things, and it's like, oh my God.
Deb, this is always that, that question we get all the time, especially on our helpline. It's when that forgetfulness is really impacting your daily life. And that is the key. If it's affecting your work routines, if you are just being challenged by things that you've always done, that you've been successful, and now it's just becoming really difficult to manage or complete, that's when we need to talk to our physicians. Because, as we know, and, maybe not everybody knows, but sometimes these moments of forgetfulness or these challenges that we're really beginning to, experience, it may not be, this, the early stages of Alzheimer's disease or another, cognitive, medical disorder or medical illness, but it could be caused by something else. And so that's why it's so important that you talk to your physician about the changes that you're seeing, and check in with family, check in with your spouse or, a sibling or, an adult child, ask them, are you seeing anything? We do that with, other medical conditions, and we need to do that here with, Alzheimer's disease or another dementia. We need to ask questions, and we need to be inquisitive and talk to our physicians openly and honestly about things that we're seeing in ourselves. We're very fortunate right now that we're in a time when, FDA medications that are targeted for Alzheimer's disease are happening. We just last week had our second FDA approved medication, lecanemab, Leqembi, which is its shelf name. And, so these are opportunities for, us to potentially treat people in the early stages of Alzheimer's disease and make an impact on their lives. These medications will extend and provide time for that person living in the early stages, and give them more time with their families and their friends and more time to live.
And I think it's really important what you said, is to, check in with people. And when folks are saying, something's not quite right, like, be open to hearing that. So RA Elder Info has experienced post-holiday a significant increase in calls because family have come in from not seeing their loved one for a period of time, and really noticed some changes in that person's memory. Mom went in the kitchen to make her stuffing that she's made every year and couldn't seem to remember all of the things in the order in which they went into making the stuffing, where, mom's husband is not necessarily seeing changes because it happened incrementally. But boy, when those kids came in, it's like, oh, okay, we need to check that kind of thing out. Does the Alzheimer's Association provide support when caregivers are at a distance? So like long distance caregiving?
I think one thing that we're very fortunate at the Alzheimer's Association is that we have we're able to support families no matter where you are in the country. We have offices on every location in every state. And so we can connect you to the local, chapter where your loved one's living. And we can be very transparent in the types of supports and services that we offer in every state, whether we offer them in person, virtually, online, and on our website at alz.org. So we have that ability to provide those resources and be those connectors for resources in the community that can support that individual.
That is awesome. So going back to the conference that's coming up on February 3rd and 4th, live streaming from 9:30 to 2 in English and Spanish. Do people need to register ahead of time for it, or do
Yes.
they just click on the link? And what do they need to register? Is it free?
There's no cost for this conference, and all people need to do is go to, and I think we'll be able to drop the link in there, I'm hoping, but it's just at alzfamilyconference.org. And they just need to go in there, register. If they're having any difficulty registering using the link, they can always call our 24/7 helpline at 1-800-272-3900. And any one of our care consultants can get that person registered. So that's really, really important.
All right. And that was the 1-800-272-3900?
Yep. And that, Deb, that telephone number is the Alzheimer's Association's 24/7 helpline. And we are able to, interact with anybody with whatever language they speak, which is really wonderful. And we're available for families, 24/7. Any question is an important question. If they're just concerned about their memory, they're not too sure what to do. If they're just experiencing something at home that is just very challenging, they can reach out to us. And we can really help them through those particular moments. And we're really good at just helping people with short-term and long-term care planning as well. What are the steps that we need to take? This is the situation I'm in right now, and what should I be doing? I feel like I'm not doing enough. And sometimes we are just an individual that we're really good listeners, and just to really support the emotions and the experience that they're going through at the time. So
yeah. And when people call that 800 line, the 272-3900, 24/7, does someone actually answer the phone, or does it go to like a recording?
No, you will get one of our clinicians. Sometimes if there's a language, we may have to call you back, but we will call you back. And that's the important to use. And I think the other thing people don't realize is that, we're available at our offices. Our office here in Rhode Island is right in Providence, on the east side, and people can come in. We are open from 8:30 to 4:30 just about every day. You can give us a call, and set up an appointment to come in, or just come on in, and we're glad to see you come in. So we're available for you. So
that ability to walk in now, thank goodness we know how to be COVID safer, because that face-to-face was so sorely missed in the last couple of years for everything.
Right, absolutely. And I want to really just kind of put because I know we just have a few more minutes, but I do want to welcome aboard 2 of our new staff members that joined us, and they play such a pivotal role at our chapter, and so that's Laura Crawford. She is our she's actually been with us a little bit, about 5 months now, but Laura Crawford is our new walk manager, and she oversees all of the Alzheimer's Association's Walk to End Alzheimer's, which is the Alzheimer's Association's largest fundraising event, which supports all the programs and services that we offer here in the state.
That's it. And those walks are in the fall.
They're in the fall, yep. And we are busily, planning those right now. And I promised Laura that I would, really say how important, we are looking for, volunteers to help us with the implementation of all of our walks. And, there are so many opportunities for sports teams and schools and universities and fraternities and civil organizations and just individual people who really, want to make an impact in the fight to end Alzheimer's. And they can they can reach out to us if they're interested in volunteering for the walk. We also have just recently hired Megan Conlin, who is now our admin and communications associate. She is, working in our office to support everything that we do. And I just want to welcome her aboard. So we're really excited to have her as well with us. So
that is awesome. Yeah. I say it all the time, teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
There's so many moving pieces. And I think folks don't really realize that the Alzheimer's Association has volunteers, but could always use more.
Absolutely. Yep.
So speaking of, we've got the virtual New England Caregiver Conference on the 3rd and 4th from 9:30 to 2, and that's going to be online. Is the Rhode Island Alzheimer's Association, are you guys having your caregiver journey at the Crown Plaza this year too?
We are. So the date is set for Thursday, April 20th. It's going to be a full day in-person conference. This is our 13th year of offering the conference, which is amazing. We are targeting that our registration will open the first week in March.
Okay.
And we are busily working on, our presentations and everything that goes into, our conference. So I'm hoping you'll be able to invite us back, Deb, closer to the conference, and we'll be sharing more about it. I know anybody who's interested in learning about the conference, when it's happening, what's going on, they'll be able to go to our website, our local website at alz.org/RI. And I'm sure right on our front page will be information and about the our Caregiver Journey Conference that is taking place.
That is awesome. And again, you need volunteers, sponsors, donors, all those fun things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, if anybody who's listening to this broadcast or who will be listening to the broadcast, please reach out to us if you're interested in volunteering. You can always, again, go to our website, look at our volunteer page, and just reach out to us locally. Our local number if you're interested in getting involved with the fight to end Alzheimer's.
That is awesome. Annie, thank you so much for coming on today. I'm looking forward to the conference on the 3rd and 4th. This is going to be great. And I will absolutely have you back for the Caregiver Journey Conference.
Great. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Everybody, dementia is one of those things that is on the rise, and it can impact a broad spectrum of ages. So it's really important that we all get educated on what are the information and resources out there. I encourage you, check out the New England Family Caregiver Conference for the regional Alzheimer's associations. It's going to be a lot of great information. And RI Elder Info, we love to make sure that you get the information you need. That's what we're dedicated to doing. And that's why we come on Friday Friends. That's why we maintain rielderinfo.com, because knowledge is power, and nobody should be struggling to lead a happy, healthy, dignified life from a lack of it. So I encourage you to check out that conference. But in the meantime, make sure you come back and see me next week at 9 a.m. for the next episode of Friday Friends. And in the meantime, be well and be kind.
If you like this video, please follow us on social media and subscribe on YouTube. For more information, visit rielderinfo.com or call 401-585-0509. If you have any questions, email deb@rielderinfo.com.